Peace and much love, legends. This is my first video of being a crazy man that's gonna just like, whatever comes out of me about the Lion King is gonna come out. So here it goes, straight into it. I'm so nervous and I'm so scared of being seen as crazy, but I've just got to pump through it like a lion. I've just got to roar, man. So here goes. Right, so think about the Lion King, yeah? As it starts, it's that music, yeah, and all the animals, they all come out. It's like they know that the king is born. They know all of the animals. They're like they know, and they know that the sun's coming out. And this is like part of the knowing that the animals inside their spirits all around the world. They know something's coming. That's why gradually they're coming in now. And the birth of the king, Simba. The birth of Simba is a representation of the. It's like the new king of now, not the first coming of Jesus, is the second coming. That's who Simba is. And then when they go to the rock and Simba is like put above the rock, it's like he's the son of man. It's represented as a lion because this is the Lion of Judah era. This is the second coming, and it's what it is. So it's like the son of man is held above all of the animals and the wildlife, which they're waiting for so much, but it's still stuff to go through, which we're going through now. And then when the sun comes out and blesses Simba when he's like a little baby cub, that's the sun, like the, you know, like it's like a representation of what's to come with the solar flash, because there's also going to be, there's two suns, and you know, and it's representation in that in the film as well, is that there's two sons. There's the Son of Man, call it the Son of God, call it us, call it Christ consciousness. Us, the Son of Man, could be perceived as the son of, you know, it's goddess, it's divine feminine, masculine. There's no man, male orientated energy, regardless of what might have been deceived or written incorrectly or taken out of certain things. Birds are like, yeah, and yeah, so it's like the Son of Man and the sun that's just over there. Yeah, so that's a representation of that. And then when the movie goes on, there is, you know, there's the bit where they're kind of like, you know, Simba's got this inner childlike enthusiasm, which is what we've all got. It's like that Christ consciousness within, which is a real purity of childlike enthusiasm. It's like we know we're the king, we know we are, and that's all we, you know, we want to be the king, we want to rule the land, we want to have the kingdom, we want to be the pride, we want to have, you know, rule this land together, like, because Simba is a representation of, whether you believe that Jesus is a man walking on earth right now, which I do resonate with personally. Many people are like, yeah, but there is also a Christ consciousness energy. But the one man is just the spark to the oneness of who we are anyway. And this is represented in The Lion King quite well, through different stages and through the songs. You think about how the songs are and everything, and it's like the bird, you know, whatever the bird's called. It's like the annoying survival mechanism, you know, of that tries to stop Simba, us, humanity, the rise of the golden consciousness, the purity, the Holy Spirit, all of that. It's like the bird is that annoying. It's like, you can't do this, you can't do that, you know, and then he's, you know, cocky and whatever, you know, is that representation of our ego, like call it a monkey mind. I know Aladdin, that literally is that representation again. You know, there's other movies as well. I want to stick on The Lion King, and but it's all the same thing, and there's always a little. Yeah, I think even in the Raya and the Dragon thing, I watched like the first 10 minutes, and then the little ball thing that comes out. I can't remember what you call them, but it's the same thing. It lacks focus, and it's like no focus, and that's what we need, focus. But the bird, the hornbill, is it? It takes that focus away from Simba, and Simba's like, well, no, I'm a king, and I'm going to be a king, and I'm born to be king. Look to the left, look to the right. Here I am, and that's who we are, and that's the representation of that, you know. And it's like even Scar can't eat the hornbill because that survival mechanism, like even his higher self, Scar, being a representation of the devil, being a representation of the dark energy around this world, and then yeah, so that's a little bit about that bit, and then even I think there's a bit in the Lion King. So bearing in mind I've literally watched the Lion King once, and it was about a week ago, apart from my childhood, so my memory I've got to really zone in and do a bit of channeling as well, which is, man, I'm just this filter. Can't wait to actually be the king of myself, and you know, which I'm becoming, which all of us. And the king, when I say king, it's just because it's called the Lion King, yeah? King, queen, duality, masculine, feminine, same thing, goddess, god, the same, yeah? So, yeah, and then when it's like, and he's looking at Nala, and he's like, yeah, you're going to be married one day. They're like, what? It's like, yeah, we are going to be married one day. We're going to have our twin flames, we're going to have our soulmates, we're going to have our divine entwinements, and we're going to have our heavenly companions, and we're going to have the choice, the free will of air. Like, some of them are kind of preordained and they're happening already, but there's also the free spirit as well. And being in a world of no codependency, no, you know, that kind of thing, is a possibility. And imagine not being jealous. Imagine having a partner and not having to marry them and be with them together. Imagine all the nations in the world. I mean, personally, I love many other cultural women. There's a, yeah, I won't go too mad on that, but like, and proper badly as well. I love it. Yeah, like when I was in Africa, I was like, oh my god, it's just, whoa, such powerful, beautiful women, you know. And then this is, yeah, many other places I've been. Yeah, there's just so much. So I'm thinking, like, I'm feeling I'm a free spirit, perhaps, and then having that no codependency, no attachment, and not having that, but enjoying each person for what they are. And I'm not saying it as if like to be a fucking slut or anything like that. Sorry, language, and or whatever it is. It's not like that. It's completely different. But it's hard for our brains to comprehend that on the surface level because we've been so weakened and programmed and conditioned. But the Nala and Simba, it's like that. That's what they're saying. It's like, well, you're going to get married at some point. And whether that is, it's the divine feminine and masculine coming together, the god and the goddess, the rise of the Lion of Judah, the spark. Whether, you know, I do believe that Bob Marley said the right thing. Jesus is a living man. Or God is a living man. Something like that. But I do feel that there's a lot between Bob Marley and some of the teachings of Jesus. It's like, and the same with Buddha. I mean, I know that Jesus went to Tibet and learned Buddhism and Shinto, which is Japanese oneness. It's from Japan. It's an ancient, and it's all about oneness and love. And think about the teachings of Jesus, and then think about Buddhism, not reacting and observing, which is what we need to do now in the whole world. Just be the inner Buddha, be the laughing cheeky Buddha inside. Don't react. You know, it's all of that same thing, and the Lion King represents that in many ways, and it's really good. So yeah, that's a bit about, you know, when they're joking. And then the hyenas, when they go to the elephant graveyard again, they're taking the piss, man, out of the most wisdom-based earth givers, the elephant. And it's like the elephant graveyard, like that. There shouldn't be such a thing, you know, because elephants they grow so old, they're wise, and they've been like represented in the wrong way. They're mistreated in the world. So that's a little bit of a, you know, there's little digs as well in the Lion King, obviously. And forget the subliminal messages, because like I said before, divine messages of spiritual intelligence is far more supremely intelligent than any subliminal crap that subliminal stuff can be fear-based. Yeah, it can go in, and it's true, but if we're going to be like, oh, I can't watch that, can't watch Disney movies because it's subliminal, it's got this message, it's got this, oh, it's going to go in, it's going to weaken me. That's the work of the dark. That's the work of the devil, because they don't want to watch divine movies like Disney movies, because they are so divine and there's so many messages in them, and I go into these trances, like I said. So yeah, and then the hyenas are like a representation of the devil's army, the devil being Scar, and his army of, like, you know, humans that are programmed, and they just want to basically kill Simba, and they want to kill the king, the same as the dark does. And in one way or another, when we're rising like Simba, and we're like, oh, we're speaking this truth, and we're like, yeah, and we've got this roar, and some of us are like, yeah, save our children, do this, do that. That's Christ consciousness. That's the inner lion. We don't have to be love and light and all fluffy all the time, you know. And that's the Simba in us rising out. And humanity, they're the hyenas, and the dark are also the hyenas. It's like the devil's players, you know. And then you got, you know, certain representations of, you know, people that are you know, make the mosquitoes, basically, yeah, they're made by man to spread disease. Simple as that. Same with all this vaccine stuff and buying land all over the world to then weaken our crops and paying off farmers. We all know the man that's doing this. The man that's not got no. Why are we even listening to him? BG, you know, yeah. So that's a little bit about that. And then the hyenas just want to kill, and they want to and then there's a scene where Nala and Simba, because Simba's just like, nah, he's not afraid, because that's the inner power of us. We're not afraid, and Simba somehow in his soul knows he is going to be king, and that's going to happen, even though he doubts himself. And that's what we do. We doubt ourselves. We doubt the inner king, the inner queen, the power of who we are, because we are God, and nothing beats God. Nothing ever beats God, ever. When we believe that, when we feel it, and we know it, and we believe so much with all of our power, we have the faith, the trust, we trust the process, we trust the messages we're getting through, and like we filter out the people we don't need, and we trust our inhibition, we do what Simba done. We go back and we face the dark. And who took out the dark in the end? The hyenas, humanity. We don't need to. We are the way showers. We are the Simba. We are the king. We are the ones that rise. The rest will just filter out, and all the animals come together and everything, you know. And then, so yeah, that's a bit when they were trying to kill him. And then look at the personalities of the hyena. It's like, is it Eddie, the one that's like, I won't do them. He's like, I don't know what he does, but he's just like, yeah, and he's like all silly and stuff, which represents the kind of the stupidity of humanity. Because let's be honest, I mean, really, this world, you know, birth, school, labour, tax, debt, retirement, death, is like, really? Like, are you really like Eddie the hyena? Like, yeah, whatever the fuck he does. Sorry, my language. And and it's like, really, we really like that. And then you've got the other one that's just wants to eat, and I can't remember what she's called, the hyena. It's just like want to eat, and then they argue and all that sort of stuff. And then the other one's just, I don't know, conniving, and you know, the devil ends up starving them anyway. And what's the devil doing? What's Scar doing to humanity now? What's Scar doing to the hyenas of humanity, the scavengers of humanity that rip us and drain our energy? And that's how they're killing us and taking us out. Because if they stood up, there wouldn't be suicide, mental health. There wouldn't be all this shit. It's the majority of humanity that are killing us. It's the hyenas that are taking the pride lands from us. The kingdom of heaven. The pride lands of us. The sun. Whew. And then the other bit. So for example, when one of the hyenas, I think he tries to get, I don't know, Nala and Simba as they're running off, and he gets all these prickles, and then like Eddie's just laughing. Like, that's what we do. That's what the lower vibration of humanity do. They laugh at people's pain, whether they're doing it behind their back. It's like, yeah, on the outside, you know, they're painful, and some people, you know, they're like, oh, are you okay? Oh, are you okay? And then behind their back, they're like, yeah, she's nuts. Like, she's on the plot, lost the plot. And this was represented in The Lion King when the hyena got all the prickles, and it's like, oh my god, and then Eddie's just laughing. They're laughing, and they're finding it funny, and then they fight, and it's just like, that is a representation of what we're dealing with. That is literally what we're dealing with. What us Simbas, the proper warriors, the relentless ones that won't stop. Sorry, I spat. And we're like the brave ones. And remember as well that bravery is to protect, not to prove. We don't have to prove who we are. When we're doing what we're doing, when we're becoming the inner lion, when we're teaching our kids about the world, which is what we should be doing more of through Disney movies, we really, really can. Seriously, so much. But protect, don't prove. And I'm pretty sure that Mufasa, Simba's dad, said that. It's like, Simba was like, yeah, I want to be this, I want to be brave. And I think Mufasa was like, bravery is not to prove yourself. It's not to go and, you know, take out humanity, think that the 3D just need to get off the planet so that we can rise. That's proving a point. That's, yes, there's frustration, and yes, there is, but somehow there's going to be a 3D split and a 5D split, and the 3D are going to have an opportunity to come into 5D. That's what I channeled. That's also a representation a little bit in The Lion King. So Mufasa says clearly, like, protect. We are protecting humanity by keep talking the truth. Keep believing. Stand up to the bullies. Stand up to the people that shame you. If your job's not serving you, walk away. Trust the process. That's protecting your energy to protect humanity's energy. And people see, like followers, like in the scene in The Lion King where the hyenas are walking, like in the Nazi days, and they're like, you know, walking and marching and that, and that's like humanity. But when they see, which in the end of The Lion King, the hyenas saw, didn't they? They're like, hang on, Simba's right. Like, you are the devil. Like, you are. Like, Simba's always been right. Simba have always been right, and we came back because we saw the truth. Because in The Lion King, remember, he looks in the reflection, and I think it was Mufasa comes through with the monkey Rafiki. He's like, look in the reflection, and Simba doesn't see nothing. That's what we don't believe. Look harder. And that's what I think Rafiki said. He said, look harder. And he does, and he sees his dad. And it's all about know your worth. Don't give up. Go back. Go back, rise against the devil, because sooner or later, humanity will see, and they're seeing more. If they're going to follow a leader like the devil, then they're going to follow a divine leader with the Holy Spirit that works through. And the divine intelligence is always more supremely intelligent than anything dark. God always wins. He's had to step back because he's been overpowered by the deception of the dark. But now, he's in us. He is us. We are Jesus. We are God. And that's represented in that, you know, and he believes, and Simba's like, yeah, I'm going to go back, and he's scared to go back, and that's what we are. We're scared of standing up. We're scared of doing my truth. I'm scared of doing this video right now. I'm shitting myself. I'm just like, seriously, I'm really articulating a Disney movie, which, you know, and it's interesting, look at all the movies that have been remade in the last 3 or 4 years. Think about it. Disney movies remade. Why have they been remade? To spark us more. And yeah, and then Simba believes in himself, you know, and how that happened as well, and the stars. So this is something in the movie. There's Timon and Pumbaa, they're brilliant, and they're like, you know, they're just like, they're what. So it's like, you know, the whole Jesus, Simba, us went away, and they thought we were dead because we were asleep. We needed a spark, you know, and we're getting this spark more, and we're like, yeah, we're speaking the truth because our Simba's coming out. But then when we do, it's like, oh my God, I thought you were dead, because our soul family and all of the ascended ones, it's like we're raising from the dead. It's like the resurrection. It's like Simba's coming back from the dead. It's the resurrection of us. That's what it is. and yeah, and what else was it? Yeah, so and then the night when Simba he spoke to his dad come up in the clouds, and he said about the ascended masters that are in the stars. And this is where I will say, I know people know this, stars ain't what we think they are. Many of the stars ain't certainly what we think they are. Sirius star is up there now, and it's raising, and it's all to do with stars are aligned with astronomy, and obviously the planets and the Egypt, the pyramids. It's all linked to now. The Sirius star, I get telepathy with it, man. We all can. It's the bright one in the sky right now, and it's going up gradually, and it moves around. I have stars following me. If I literally look up and I'm like, go on, shooting star, within 5 minutes there'll be a shooting star, and or sometimes instantly like that, or someone will say, look up, shooting star, and I go back, and a big one just go, boom. They're all signs of what's coming, the second coming. And the North Star, the Star of David, the Southern Cross, all of that is all up there. So when Simba that night, you know, his dad's told him that, because our ascended masters are extraterrestrial. They are Palladian, Arcturian, Lyrian, Syrian, native. There's other star seeds, blue avian, all of this, and this is why the colour blue is in quite a few movies as well. The Genie in the Lamp and Avatar, and other ones. You know, it's all the same thing. And then there's that night where he's with Timon and Pumbaa, and Timon and Pumbaa were Simba's lifeline, and that's what we've had. Like sometimes we get comedy or someone will come in our life and they'll spark us, and they're like, oh my God, yeah, or they'll give us a bit of, like, you know, not nutrition, well, nutrition in real life, but in the movie it was like eating bugs and stuff, which is still nutrition there. And Simba tried something different, and people are coming in our life and they're sparking us. There's always divine angels, and that's what Timon and Pumbaa were to Simba, but they still don't quite believe in him, and they think he's crazy when he says, that like there's that night and they're like, oh yeah, so yeah, the stars, I think this, and Pumbaa and Timon think this, and they say, oh, what do you think? And Simba's like, oh no, I don't want to, because in his mind he's like, no, you're going to think I'm crazy if I say the truth. That's what we're going through now. We think we're going to be crazy if we speak the truth. That's what I'm doing right now. I think I'm going to be crazy if I speak the truth. I've just literally said that stars ain't what we think, and that they're basically motherships, and that they move around, and that they follow me. Like, if I'd have said that 20 years ago, so many people would be like, mate, give that guy a gun. He needs to go. Lock him up, you know. But it's the same thing. Is humanity going to be the same as Timon and Pumbaa and say, oh, laugh at Simba, laugh at me? Same thing. Simba is us. You know, all that stuff. Don't forget that. Christ consciousness is all of us. I get it. Yep, understood. And yeah, and he just feels like absolute shit after that. And I've said many mad things, and I know I've been ignored, and I've felt that same thing. And it's that same thing that we feel. Many of us feel this, because the stars are the representation of us speaking more different to the normal perception of life. Because when we say things that are abnormal or classed as a conspiracy, it does weaken our hearts. It does break us. When we're ignored, it does harm us. It does. We need to admit that. It hurts. It's not nice. Even though we fight and we keep going, we're like, how much more can I take? And that night, Simba was like, you know, and I think then he went to this rock and he blew the leaves. The leaves of the Holy Spirit. Okay? When he was like, and the Holy Spirit went to Rafiki, and Rafiki's like, oh, Simba, he's alive. Is that good? That's a good voice, isn't it? Simba, he's alive. Yeah, I want to do it again, but 3 times too much, in it. And then it's like, he knows, and that's what's happening now. It's like the Holy Spirit's like, we're alive. And in our worst moment, Simba being like, oh, you know, I'm crazy. Oh, it doesn't. He loses faith in his dad. He loses faith in God. It's the same thing, you know, because his dad spoke to him in the clouds and the reflection, and it's all the same thing. I think the reflection was after that. Yeah. The reflection was after that, because the Rafiki come and found Simba, and it's mad. I've only watched this once, and it's just going bing, 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 bing. I've got little notes there, and I'm not even like looking at them. It's mad. And yeah, so his dad in the sky was, Simba, believe in me, believe in God, Christ consciousness, divine, angels, it's all the same thing, we can believe in it. And then Rafiki's like, Simba, he's alive? Then he comes back and he's like, wisdom. Rafiki is the inner wisdom of us, as well as a piece of the Holy Spirit, and that's the wisdom that's coming out. And then, you know, Simba sparked and he's like, I'm going to go back, I'm going to face, yes, I'm going to do it. And one thing I just want to go back to quickly is, so when Scar deceives Simba and makes the whole plan with the stampede to kill his dad, Mufasa, remember the eyes as well, and how deceptive Scar is. That is how deceptive the dark is in this environment around us, and that's how we can get played like puppets by these people, and they're like, oh, really nice. And to be fair, Scar's an expert, and look at all the movies with the villains, Disney movies, how expert they are. Aladdin, the guy, Snake, remember? And Jungle Book, Snake, deceptive, same thing, trance eyes. Scar, that trance, that snake, that devil, representation of the devil is a snake. It's the same thing. The divine is showing us clearly through movies. And he absolutely deceives, you know, Simba to do the stampede. Funnily enough, there's a stampede in the Jungle Book. Mowgli does, he survives that one, and it's a different story, but still, Arkela is killed. Same, Mufasa's killed. I think another. I think Aladdin, was it Aladdin? No. Oh, there's other ones in the father's killed. I think the Raya the Dragon, he's made to stone. And I've watched 5 movies, and they're all the same thing. It's like saying, it's like they kill the God of the belief within us, which is the Father. You know, they say that in biblical, you know, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, it's the same thing. And golden consciousness, Christ consciousness. So yeah, and then so that happens, and he's like, you know, deceives Simba to trust in the dark, which is what we've had to do all of our lives. We've had to trust in this deception, and we've trusted it, we believed it, and even now we're like, are we crazy? Maybe this life is normal. And we get these little moments because the dark's still deceiving us. Scar is still got us on that rock before the stampede, telling us, yeah, you wait here and you'll be safe, or whatever, your dad's coming over. Or no, not your dad's, I don't know, whatever it was. Watch the scene, see what I'm saying. And then the way that that's played out, and then he goes up to Mufasa, so he goes up to God and plays God, and that's what the dark's been doing to God. God's been like just deceived because God's got a beautiful heart, bravery, just like Mufasa, and it's the same story. And so yeah, and what we've got to do is be very, very careful and very vigilant, and that's how we get around that, you know. And then that happens, and then Mufasa comes in, tries to save Mufasa. Yeah. Oh, what was it? Yeah. But then at the end, was it? I think Simba was down there or something. Can't really remember that scene. My memory's not good, but this is great because then whoever knows that scene or doesn't know that scene could then watch that scene and see what I'm saying and what I'm meaning and what I'm channeling. So it's like he looks at Mufasa and he's like, yeah, long live the king or something, and just releases him, lets him go. That's what the devil has done to God, because God is the Father, but he is there in spirit. It's like, you know, think about the first coming. Whatever we believe, I don't know, yes, it's a sacrifice. Why did the Romans do that? Why did they slaughter someone because he was full of love? Like, I don't know. I don't want to get too biblical or I know that's a grey area because certain people believe certain things and they believe that he was a sacrifice sent down from God, and that there was a plan, which is true as well because it was a plan. That was the first coming. And Mufasa was, it's like that's the first coming, died, killed by the devil, the Romans, Judas, the same thing, yeah. If it doesn't resonate, it's cool. Don't worry. I'm just speaking my truth. And yeah, so yeah, and it was like long live the king, and then that all happens, and then even then he goes down and tries to mess up the second coming, mess up Simba, tries to wipe out the first and second coming straight, bang bang, because when Jesus, you know, the whole Jesus thing, whether you believe Jesus was a walking man on earth or whether you believe it was a consciousness, it doesn't matter. I personally believe that he was actually on earth, and that I do actually also believe that there was a feminine alongside him, and that she done the hands-on healing, not him, and that's why women were taken out of the Bible. Did I say that? Yes, I fucking did. And and this is where the dragon comes in as well, because that feminine is the dragon spirit, and the Raya the Dragon, the movie. It's all related, man. And I'm trying not to be like, you're crazy. I'm not crazy. And then and then he goes down, and Simba's just like, you know, makes it out to be Simba's fault. You know, it was your fault. You done this. You done that. And that's what we've had all of our life. The Tribe of the Rainbow, the highest ascended ones, they've had trauma their whole life. Like that, but they've been deceived to feel that it's their own fault. You know, sexually abused. Oh no, it's my own fault because you know they feel so worthless, and they allow it. And any you know, domestic abuse, it's like they can't walk away because no they've got to, and they're too nice. They can't walk away from someone in case they hurt them, even though they're hurting us. It's the same thing, but we don't see it. Just like Simba didn't see. He thought he'd killed his dad. He thought he'd killed God. He thought he'd killed the inner belief in him, which he did for a time period. And then he went back. So yeah, I think that explains that scene. And then obviously, you know, Simba runs off, and then he gets the hyenas of humanity to destroy the second coming. What's happening now? Humanity are trying to destroy the second coming through ignorance, through not waking up, through programming, conditioning. The same thing, just like the hyenas. It's the same thing. Whether that's unseen or seen, whether it's humanity or the dark working in humanity. It's the hands of the devil. It's the eyes of Scar. It's the deception of the eyes of the snake. The deceiver. It's the same thing. God, man, I can't believe what I'm saying. And yeah. So it's like it's just that self-doubt. And then and then he you know, he goes off and he's gone. Something sparks. Timon and Pumbaa is spark. That's what's happened to us. And like I said, we get the you know, we've had people coming in and they're just somehow, whether it's a spiritual healer, whether it's a light warrior, Could even be me when you see my posts, you know, there's something you see and it's like, oh, it just gives you that, yes, I'm not crazy, I'm not crazy. And that's kind of what Timon and Pumbaa do, they spark him. And then he sees Nala. Nala comes back and they're like, and they're fighting, they're like, huh? And they're fighting, you know, the way that masculine and feminine fight in this world, they fight, and then all of a sudden, we're like, oh my God, it's you. Masculine and feminine. Oh my God, it's you. The marriage of us. You know, you get it? I can't believe I'm saying this shit. Oh, the clouds are forming amazing, man. Oh, it's pretty beautiful, actually. Wow. And, yeah, I hope you can see the sky. And, yeah, so it's the same thing. And then he goes back. So, yeah, I'm sort of flitting in and out and that. And so, yeah, and it's all about, like, speaking your truth and that there's no limits. And yeah, so it sparked the return as well. And then sooner or later, Simba's just like, yeah, I'm going back. Because the inner wisdom, the Holy Spirit was like, yes, I'm standing, I'm rising. And he goes back. And then they're all just like, oh my God, I thought you were dead. It's like, Jesus, he's back. Simba, he's back. We are back. And Scar is going down. And this is where it's like, the Christ consciousness in us, the 144,000 tribe of the rainbow, the present day disciples, the present day prophets, even though they might not know who they are, the god and goddesses, the Horus, the I don't know, the Hare Krishna, the Buddha, the Jesus, the John Lennon, they're all back. The goddess of Isis, you know, they've had their energy harnessed, but they're back for this. And the more animals are coming back as well, just like in the movie, there's that oneness. It's like, you know, it's starting to happen a little bit. You know, like yesterday I had a little spider I took photos and it was on my hand and it went all the way up. I was on a phone call, went all up my leg, it's just looking at me, and I don't let spiders do that ever. And I was just like, oh my God, no, it's cool, he's cool, he's cool. And I'm in Australia, it could easily be poisonous. It just crawling up me, it's built in a spider's web, all up me, it went on there, went on my nose, there, looking at me, there. I'm having eye contact with a spider. And I'm like, and I was just sat in the sun, it's on my head, it's everywhere and going all over, and it dangled down here and it's looking at me in the eye. And I'm like, okay, yeah, this is confirmation that this is happening. This really is happening. And yeah, it went on my head and I wanted to put my top on and then yeah, and I was like, and it just kind of like, it sort of come down and then it just webbed onto my journal. So it was safe, and then it crawled off my journal once I was ready to go. So it's like, you know, I didn't wipe it off, it didn't die. It was all cool, it was a beautiful little spider. It was like brown and red, but yeah, I got some photos. And then yeah, I took a photo and there's like a tree. And I showed the photo to my mum and there's like a wolf clearly looking at me in the tree. It's like protection. They're here. And yeah, so then he goes back and then look at how that happens. So he goes back and they're like, oh my God, Simba, and then Scar's like, blaming humanity. What's the Dark doing now? Putting blame on humanity, putting us against the Christ and all that sort of stuff. So it's being the same deceiver. He's already starved the hyenas. They're already starved, but he's got an army, just like humanity have got an army that outweigh the lions, don't they? Just like in Simba, it's like Simba and his pride against all these hyenas. There's no chance. Just like we think sometimes there's no chance. There is a chance. We win. We've already won. We win. Could get a little bit messy, but not too bad, because the messiness is mainly inside, because the God inside is stronger than anything ever. And then yeah, and then you think about that, you know, the whole scene of how it works, and yeah, so the mirror, yeah, and there's no such thing as a coincidence as well. So remember that in these Disney movies, there's no such thing as a coincidence, and our thoughts are not our own. So the divine is worked through people that produce the movies, and they might try subliminal things, and they get played as well. Divine plays dark and light, because we're energy, frequency, vibration, and sound, and that gets manipulated massively. And sometimes we think, oh, it's us. This is my decision. This is my that, labeling that. You know, there's more to this. Obviously, many of us know this, but our thoughts are not our own. It's the key to happiness. It's also the bad key to darkness, but filter that out. And that all makes sense with the fact that this is no coincidence, the same as, yeah, all the other movies. And then they go back and then look at how, you know, I think they have a bit of a fight. He's smashing Simba. Simba's about to die or something, and, you know, he deceives him again. Scar deceives him. It's like, I think Simba was going to let him off. And that's our niceness. We can't be like, oh no, oh that's okay, they're all right. Oh no, I'll let them off. If it doesn't feel right, let go. If it's a relationship, a person, or someone and they're draining you, can feel that you're getting drained, no matter what it is, no matter if they have got problems or whatever, they have to do their own shadow work. They have to do their own shadow work. It's the same thing as Scar, you know, as Simba going, oh no, and being too kind. We can't be too kind. We have to be ruthless. We ain't living on a hell on earth. Like, let this go. If anyone's draining you, let them go. Wow, I'm not telling you what to do or anything. and yeah, like, and then that happens. But then look at how the lightning comes down. You know, the whole lightning, the whole thing, and all the fire, and everything's like a hell environment, like the apocalypse, exactly a resemblance of the apocalypse. And then look at all the fires that have been going around the world, all the animals that are dying. There's fires in places and they're not being shown. All the worldwide events. It's a representation of right now. That's seen in The Lion King. And there's fire everywhere. There's fire like all over the bloody place, you know. And they're having this standoff. And then what was it? It's like there's something said, and then the hyenas are just like, yeah, why is that? And then they turn on Scar, don't they? And Scar's like trying to manipulate him even more. That's what he's doing now to humanity, because we're the ones, and there's going to get to a point where we fight, and then suddenly, you know, there is going to be a tribe of the rainbow that rises. There's going to be worldwide dances to take out the stagnant energy of the world, and that's going to happen to remove the dark energy of what Scar left, what the devil left, and all that sort of stuff, which is all over the world, especially in the 7 places that I've channeled before. Hawaii, Stonehenge, New Zealand, Australia, Tibet, Peru and Arizona. Boom! 7 in 1. 7 seals, all this stuff. Yeah, it's, oh man. And yeah, and then like the hyenas are just like, no, hang on a minute. Simba's right. We're right. God is right. Jesus is right. There's only one, and it's us. And yeah, and then that happens, and then the sun comes out. The sun in the sky. The son of man of Simba. The solar flash. The divine upgrades. Our DNA upgrades. It's all a symbolic thing of that. The kingdom of heaven blesses the pride. The animals come out, everything comes alive. This is what 5D is. That's a representation in The Lion King of 5D. And it's like we had a chance of 5D before with the first coming, you know, in the birth of the king and, you know, whatever, but then the whole Mustafa thing and all that stuff, yeah? But the animals knew who he was. And yeah, and the goddess, masculine, feminine, all that stuff. So, yeah, and then yeah, the sun, and then the whole 1,000-year reign comes into this, because it's interesting. Because it's like, you know, there's a 1,000-year reign that comes into biblical stuff, and I've channeled this and I'm like, why does that keep saying that? But I think there's something in it to do with the golden age, and I do think that everything is, you know, Christ consciousness is the same as the divine, is the same as source, is the same as God. The Holy Spirit is the energy that the angels filter into, and they come into, and I know there's angels around me now. I know it, and when I'm getting doubts, they're just like slapping me. They're like, come on Matt, and yeah, so yeah, that's a little bit about that. And the sun, solar flash, the son of man, and then handing it over to the goddess, which is the child, yeah, in the end of The Lion King. And they're like, and even Rafiki, I think they're like he or something, or they're like he, oh is he, and it's like it's a girl, and it's like, yeah man, goddess is back, the marriage. Oh, can't believe I just said all that. That's a long video, and I don't know, I might cut it into parts, I don't know. Oh, was there anything else? I wrote notes, but I'm pretty sure I didn't even need to look at them. I didn't. No, it's the main thing, I suppose, is see the scar in people, and no matter what, if there's a little inkling that they could weaken you in any way whatsoever to take you off the path of what you believe in the God within you, because you're God, you're more powerful than anything. Nobody can take that power. When you're alone, you're more powerful. When there's a codependency and other people stressing or straining or anything, or even friends, or, you know, even family sometimes, if it's in a united oneness, like watching Disney movies and being like, yeah, that means that, that means that, that means that, even the kids, man, you know, they're going to be like, they're so pure and they're so unprogrammed and unconditioned, even though the dark are trying many things. But they can see, like, mummy and daddy, we don't want you to worry about our future. We don't want you to worry, because I know mum and dads are crying out there. They're thinking, oh my God, how, you know, my son, my daughter, they're going to get bullied. They're going to get, I don't know, whatever it is in this world. It's an evil place. They might have to go to war and die, or whatever. This world might be the apocalypse, hell on earth, and they're going to have to be in that. But that's fear-based. If we just think, I'm not telling mums and dads what to do. I'm not a dad, all right? Yeah, there's spiritually there's different things in that, and like I don't even know what I'm saying, but yeah, and it's like you know, mummy and daddy, believe and stand up for us, stand up for our generations, rather than worrying, oh my God, my son's gonna, you know, my son or my daughter, they're just gonna go through hell, they're gonna, you know, there's all this, you know, racism and discrimination and neglect and bullying, and kids bully the crap out of each other, and the cyberbullying, and it's an awful world to bring your kids into, and it really is, and sometimes just think, you know, our kids could watch these movies like The Lion King and stuff, and they could literally be thinking in their minds, how do we know what they're thinking? Our children are far more ascended than what we believe. Children should never be seen and not heard. That's in movies as well, and that's subliminal. Yeah, I get it. And yeah, like they give them the chance, give them the stage. Honestly, give them the stage. Let them speak. Ask them what they think about The Lion King, or speak about different Disney movies. Just be like, yeah, I don't know. Speak about it like they're an adult. Treat kids like adults. That's what we should do. Not let them go through this, I don't know, this education system, and just so we can go to work and babysitters and all that crap. It's just like, no, man. Spend the time, you know, they're adults, they're little adults, they're starseeds, they're masters, they're ascended masters, massively. Some of the highest ascended masters on the planet are children. Spat again. And I'm a big child. We're all big children. We're all children. We're the children of God. It's the same thing. Children of the sun. All of it. It's the same thing. The rainbow children, the tribe of the rainbow. We're all children at heart. We are. We're spiritual beings in physical bodies, but we're child enthusiasm coming through. And some of our children might be like, yeah, you know, like, mummy, daddy, why aren't you like Simba? Why are you still, you know, trapped out there, not knowing what to do, and being scared of your truth, being scared for calling a star a ascended master because Timon and, you know, you're scared of what Timon and Pumbaa might think. And remember, Timon and Pumbaa, they backed Simba. They went back. They fought with Simba. They risked their lives for Simba. These people will do the same. We need to stand up. Rise like a lion. Like the Lion of Judah. The Lion of Judah, man. He is here. We are here. We are gods. And do not stop. This is the time for our children, for humanity, for everyone. Even the ones that defamed us, shamed us and all that stuff. They're going to realise soon. It's a matter of time. The more we speak, the more they listen. The more programmes, you know, just like the hyena, they turned on Scar. The same thing is going to happen. And sometimes our kids are just like, yeah, mummy and daddy, you know, why are you always at work? Why are you too busy for me? Why are you, you know, being bullied? Why are you arguing? Why am I not allowed to do this? Why am I not allowed to do that? Why can I not go out at this time? You know, and we're scared of kids being in the neighbourhood, which is justifiable. I get it. It's true. It's a dangerous world. But we're moving into more trust, more trust, more trust. The more we trust the angels. I'm not saying let your kids run around all night. Definitely not. But more spiritually, trust what they're saying. Give them that time. You know, family dinners, phones off, man. You know, and all that stuff. And it's like it will happen so much quicker. I'm not telling anybody what to do. I'm saying what's coming through me, not by me. And like, yeah, just give them that stage. Give them that dance floor. Watch the movies. Like, you know, this is the time. There's been no other time like it. It's like we were deceived 12,000 years ago, and 2, 3, 4, 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago, and like many times before. This is a time when we rise and we take back our old, ancient. We're going back in our divine history of the golden age. It's like but it's better than ever because we've learnt from all the deception. We're going into that. But our children are so important. Why do you think they're slaughtering children all around the world? Why do you think there's all this underground sick satanic stuff happening to children? Why do you think, like, You know, there's all sorts of stuff. Children are targeted all the time. They're weak and they're programmed from an early age. Like, we can do that. We are their masters. We are the ones that save our children. We are the ones that remove the generational curses. You know, our children are being born golden. They are being born golden children. Golden child is God, is Jesus, is the pinnacle of everything. But they need that spark. They can get that spark through just, yeah. I'm really not telling people what to do. I'm just saying what comes through. That's a little bit about the Lion King. I don't think I've got any more to say. I need to go back because I've got to traipse through loads of grass and hopefully not get bitten by snakes or attacked by a kangaroo because it's sunset, and I've got to get out of this place because I don't even know where I am. So, much love. Be the spark to ignite the candle that lights all the other candles around the world, the candle of love, oneness, peace and purity. See that bird going in? That hasn't happened. As soon as I do that, it went straight over. I love these signs. Ignite the spark that enrages the fire of flaming beauty within all of us. That love will go all around the world. You are God. I am God. We are God. We are the second coming. We are the Lion of Judah. Male, female, masculine, feminine, God, goddess. We are it. Amen. Peace.